Some Islamic militants liken the current conflicts to religious wars of the past. Al-Qaeda's deputy Ayman al-Zawahiri, in a video 2 years ago, compared the current Catholic Church leader to the 11th century Pope who launched the crusades. One leading U.S. scholar says the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on the U.S. confirmed to some people that Muslims and Christians would always fight. But Professor John Wall of the Center for Muslim-Christian Understanding at Georgetown University says the response he saw to the September 11th attacks was mostly positive.
The most remarkable thing was the number of requests that we got, not for people who would come and talk about how terrorist Muslims were, but rather for help in organizing Muslim-Christian dialogue in local communities.
In the past 4 decades, the Vatican has promoted reconciliation. In 1965, the Second Vatican Council pleaded with Christians and Muslims to overcome their past differences and work for peace and understanding. In 2001, Pope John Paul II was hailed for visiting the cherished Umayyad Mosque in Syria and urging respectful dialogue between what he called two great religious communities. In October 2007, 130 leading Muslim scholars from around the world issued a letter calling for peace and understanding between Islam and Christianity. They said the very survival of the world is at stake. Professor John Borelli is the national coordinator for the interreligious dialogue at the U.S. Jesuit Conference.
I really think that this initiative that has come from Muslims for theological dialogue based upon the principles of love of God and love of neighbor is very positive. The Vatican has responded, and what will come out of this will be the largest Muslim dialogue that the Vatican has co-sponsored.
Borelli says during Pope Benedict's U.S. visit, American Muslim leaders will participate in interfaith activities with the pontiff. Yet, nearly 2 years ago, it was this pope who angered many Muslims when he quoted a 14th century Byzantine emperor who had criticized the teachings of the Prophet Mohamed. The pontiff later sought to diffuse the anger, expressing deep respect for all Muslims. Parvez Ahmad is the chairman of the Council on American-Islamic Relations. He says, demonization of Islam in the Christian West is a serious problem.
Where many mainstream religious leaders have said very derogatory things about the Prophet Muhammad, about Islam, about Allah, in a way that if had it been said for any other faith, any other group, there would be a major backlash on it. Unfortunately, these important figures, religious and political figures, made these hateful comments about Islam, and in some sense they got away with it.
Parvez says Muslims must follow their religious teachings and respect other faiths to foster better relations. Keith Ellison is the first Muslim American to be elected to the U.S. Congress. He points to the lessons of the Quran as a path to better relations.
Those lessons that speak to religious tolerance, those lessons that speak to gender equality are the things that we should rely on. And that we should never, and that the world of Islam should never operate on the basis of fear, because from fear we get exclusion, from fear we get harsh action, desperate action, rageful action.
Pope Benedict, who has recently appealed for an end to bloody conflicts in the Middle East, has also said the religious and intercultural dialogues are necessary to build a world of peace. Mohamed Elshinnawi, VOA News.